Should I get the eye roll out of the way for Cheryl right now? There you go.
Whatever.
First eye roll in less than 30 seconds.
It's true. What is happening, everybody? It's Sunday live haul. Excuse me, madam. Seriously, guys, I'm Katy. This is Vikki, aka Victoria, aka stealer of my toilet paper, aka my fiance, aka scratchy voice McGee. Listen, we both probably have kind of scratchy voices today, if we have a cold or something. But I just want to point out I came prepared with my tissue paper in case I sneeze. Because guess what? I'm gonna be sneezing. It's possible. It's a possibility. But this one over here decided she was gonna like do some nail painting 5 seconds before the show started so I can smell nail polish. And now apparently you messed it up already.
I already smudged a nail.
And so now she's trying to steal my toilet paper.
That's true.
Fancy tissue paper. Anyway, hello. Welcome to the show. As I said, it's Sunday live haul, our regular weekly show that almost happens every week. We were not with you guys last week because we were in Boston, the Boston area, and then Rhode Island, good old New England. Seeing friends, seeing family. Oh, now that's just embarrassing. Don't show that on the screen. That's just terrible. Horrible. And so we did do a little thrifting there, but we did not do a show. But we are here this week. We should be here next week. The week after that, however, we will be in Florida. And I mean, I don't intend to be doing a show, but
you never know.
But you never know. You might see us around because we will be hanging out with Casey. We'll also be hanging out with Ryan and Allie. So Riley Roots and Rockstar Flipper together and separately. So I'm sure there's a very good possibility that we will show up at some point either on our social media and or theirs.
It's true. It's true.
But we're not going to make any promises.
Speaking of which, if you are watching the show right now, I don't know if Katy put it in.
Oh, I did not.
Because I forgot to remind her. We're going to add it at the end of the show if you're watching it later. There is a link. We are hosting a meetup in Florida for our Florida friends, our Florida viewers, stranger friends, what have you. Casey will be there, as will Ryan and Allie and Callie. So, but we are putting together this meetup, and it's just for our fellow resellers to get together and hang out. It is where Casey lives, actually. So he lives on a lagoon. So those of you that don't know, Casey Rockstar Flipper lives in Florida. They all live in Florida. And we're going to be staying with Casey and then staying with Ryan and Allie for part of our visit as well. But Casey has this great lagoon that he just purchased a home on a little over a year ago. And it has a great meetup space with,
it's like a resort.
There's a resort. So it has like, you know,
go swimming. There's a
you can swim
bar.
if you want to. There's a
bar and a swim up bar.
There's a bar and a place to get food and stuff like that. So it actually, we rented a whole area for we can have a private private gathering. So it'll be fun. So anyone that's in Florida, we're going to put the link below the show to sign up. It is a Facebook link. It is free to attend, but we really do need to have a head count because the space is limited. So we can't have like 300 people show up. You know what I mean? So
if any of our admins in the chat, if you have a chance to go grab that link for us for the live audience, but I will be adding it to down below to the description of this show. I just want to say, we get these, this is what living in Las Vegas is like. So it's very warm and nice and wonderful. However, there are times during the year, which it seems like it's forever now, where it gets really, really windy. And we're in the desert,
like
so it's super dusty.
7 years. 7 weeks. Feels like 7 years. 7 weeks of crazy wind.
So I just got an emergency alert for a severe, that's not focusing, a dust storm warning.
Pull aside. Stay alive.
Yeah. So, but it does get pretty bad here. It can get really bad.
Everybody stay inside. Bring in your elderly and your babies, it says, basically.
Yeah, don't let your elderly or babies run around in the dusty wind outside. So that should be fun. We just set up our pool, but who knows if we can even use it before we go to Florida, because now it's like windy and dusty and stormy.
Good times.
But
anyway, so happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
To all of you that are moms in our chat. And
but we do want to give a shout out. So yes, of course, there's your traditional Mother's Day, but also there are a lot of people out there where this can be kind of a tough day because either maybe you've lost your mom at some point in your life, if not recently, or you just can't be where your mom is, or, there's a lot of reasons why sometimes, maybe you've lost a child,
Strange
there's a lot of
relationships
reasons.
with mothers and children. It's a very difficult thing. I went many years without
Yeah.
talking to my mother. I went many years without talking to my daughter. So I definitely understand.
It's a very celebratory day for some people, and for
Mhm.
other people, it can be very painful. And so we just want to acknowledge that
For sure.
and especially give a shout out to T Money, Teresa Cox, who is the bossiest of all the bosses, who did lose her mom just very recently. So
Mhm.
we're thinking of her today, along with anyone else who maybe is just having a tough time. With that being said, this is our Sunday live haul, and
We break it up into 3 parts.
Are you stealing my? Are you
I
stealing
am.
my
I'm stealing
spiel?
your shtick. I'm
She's
stealing
stealing
it.
my spiel, you guys. She's trying to run me over. So yeah, we break it up into 3 parts. First part, we look at our numbers, our real numbers for the last week, what we've sold, our gross numbers, and then we kind of break down some of those costs, like our fees and cost of goods and shipping and whatnot. The middle part of the show, we look at some sales highlights of the stuff we sold over the last week, either interesting, super crazy, or maybe even just educational. And then the last part is we look at a haul, which, I mean, we've got some cool stuff. I've got a couple of things that I picked up in New England. I don't know if any of your stuff is stuff that you got in New England.
A couple of things that I got in New England, I think, but the majority of my stuff actually went with Crystal this week.
She's way too efficient. She like immediately packs it all up.
No, I wash it and process it and clean it and get it sent out so it can start getting listed. So next week I'll actually have a bunch of the stuff back that I had sent to her that I got in New England and purchased at the bins in the last couple of weeks. But I do still have some cool stuff.
Yep. So
mostly hard goods today.
Oh, the other thing we wanted to say at the top of the show is, so I think we talked a little bit last week about Whatnot, because I bought a couple things. This week I went crazy, and Vikki was like, "What are you doing? You're on Whatnot all the time now." The thing is, I'm
a little obsessive, I think.
But the thing is, it's like I'm sourcing. She needs to go and look and see if there's something she can source, because it's not all t-shirts and stuff.
It's not all dude wear.
No, and I picked up a ridiculous amount of things this week, and especially if you find a sale where it's stuff that you're interested in. After the first one, it's like $4.50 shipping, and then after that one, it's $1 more. So if you can keep buying from the same person, the same sale, it's a pretty good deal. I found a lot of stuff that I would have paid double for if I was just buying locally. So I'm going to have some major stuff coming in this next week. But big news, Vikki and I each applied to be sellers on Whatnot. I had Jesse helping me out with mine, and I got approved literally within a couple of hours. Vikki, I think it took you a whole 14 hours or something like that on your own.
I didn't have anybody help me though.
Now, I know there are people out there who have applied to be sellers, and it's taking forever. I've heard wait times up to a couple
2 to
of
3 months. 2 to 3 months for some people.
5 weeks. I know that there are certain things they're looking for.
They are prioritizing female sellers. They are because it's pretty much a dude WhatsApp right now. So they very much are prioritizing women that sell. And they do want you to send in links to your store. They want to see your track record as a seller, whatever store or platform you may be on.
Yeah.
So they want to see your track record as a seller and the type of items that you sell. If you only have 5 items that work for a WhatsApp, whether it's a men's vintage, women's vintage, whatever it may be. If you only have 5 items, they're not going to look at your items and say, "Yeah, you're going to be a good seller," because they don't have any proof of that. So it's not just on first come, first serve. It's definitely going to be based on your track record as a seller. And they are being selective because the app is exploding the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And they not only just approve you as a seller, but then you have to go on through what's called an onboarding process, which means you have to take a 30-minute class via Zoom call at a certain appointment with a bunch of other sellers. My class had 35 sellers in it, I think.
They verify you
have to be on camera. They have to see you. And then when you're done, you have to take a quiz.
Yep.
And then you have to submit some more information. So it is not just hey, I'm going to download this app and I'm going to get approved because I want it.
Yeah.
They're being fairly selective, but that's a good thing. Yeah. That means that it is weeding out a lot of dick sellers. Nobody wants all that, somebody selling a bunch of repros and crap that isn't worth any money. Wasting time. That being said, there are still some very funny people selling that just
and they are, one of the things that I think will get you in faster is if you have a social media following, so you want to show any social media channels. I mean, there's a lot of you out there who have way more following than I do on Instagram.
Right, or me.
Because they want people
I don't sell online
who are going to be able to bring in an audience of buyers. Also, I do think that when they look at your store, if you're somebody who sells everything and you just have this wide variety, I don't, not that it works against you, but the way it works on Whatnot is you create a live sale and it's within a certain category. And so if you do a sale and it's going to be all plush, you're not, you're not going to be selling shorts and other random things. Like people going to see your sale, they want to see plush. So if you're somebody who has, like I do, where it's literally 1,000+ t-shirts and then a bunch of sweatshirts, like it's very much fits in one category. So I think that helps. But what I wanted to say is we both got approved. I don't know when Vikki's going to do a sale. I'm tentatively saying I'm going to try to schedule my first sale for this coming Friday. I'm going to see if I can do it.
We're going out Friday night. You're going to do it during the day?
Well, yeah, do it during the day. So I want to do it
We're going out with Mikey Bags of Money Friday night.
So I'm going to do it this coming Friday. I have to figure it out. Probably be like the middle of the day because they kind of tell you what times it's more busy or less busy. So you can get in when it's not too many other sales going on at the same time.
Because everybody is doing 5 to 8. People are always 5 to 8 is the most popular time. So you don't want to be competing with every seller ever. And the other thing that they tell you to do is take photos of the things that you're going to be selling and narrow and advertise your sales. Schedule your sales several days in advance, 2 to 5 days in advance, so that people will see it when they're scrolling through and they'll save it as something they want to come back to. You don't have to be selling just to your followers. So I'm pretty interested in doing it too. I don't know if I'll get mine done in the next couple of weeks. It might be when I come back, but I think I'm going to schedule it like I'm going to do like dresses from the 60s or dresses from the 70s. I'm going to do it by the decade.
Yeah.
And do it that way. But I'm tentatively going to pull some of my older inventory, some of my lower priced inventory, just to test the waters and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to sell my stuff for $5 and $10. You guys know that. So,
well, and there are ways to like kind of drive sales. If you guys watch any of the Rally Root stuff or like yesterday's fits, they do some fun stuff. I mean, a lot of people do kind of giveaways. So my point is I'm definitely very nervous because it's a whole new thing and it's going to be different than doing it even on Instagram. I'm going to be by myself. So the more support I have, the better. I'm going to be doing some giveaways. I've ordered like a little bingo thing. I got a whole thing in mind.
A whole thing going.
But I wanted to say,
which I'll probably steal when I do mine.
If you, based on what we were saying about wait times, if you are wanting to be a whatnot seller, I suggest you apply to be a seller now. And you want to make sure you're sharing your store with them. They allow you, it's optional to upload a video. I actually showed a video of my inventory so they could see what I actually had. And so
I sent a picture, not a video.
And so I have a link down below. It's specifically a link. It's a referral link to be a seller, not just a buyer. So you don't even have to have a whatnot account yet. You have to have not already applied to be a seller. But if you want to apply to be a seller, click on my link down below. That'll help you out and it'll help me out. And it'll be your chance to kind of see what's going on. And then pay attention this next couple of days. I'm going to be announcing like when my sale's actually going to be so you can come and check it out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like I think Katy definitely has the advantage because of what she sells. It is very much a great app for vintage men's clothing and streetwear, which is what she sells. That doesn't mean that what I sell is not selling there. It is, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer to grow that audience. But again, like I've said before, I can see that that's going in that direction. I can see that social selling is absolutely the wave of the future. It is not something I'm looking forward to. However, I don't want to be left behind. So having an account and learning about it and watching it happen and maybe trying it a little bit myself is going to make me feel better. I'm perfectly fine being on a camera. That part I'm not worried about, clearly. But I am worried about finding the correct audience for what I sell because I'm not going to be selling my dude stuff.
Yeah. Well, and so Dana says everything she's been watching has been selling for dirt cheap. Yeah, I totally agree. There's a couple of caveats to that. First of all, they tell you when you list all your stuff ahead of time for your sale, they tell you should make a title that actually says what it is. You should have a picture on there that shows what it is. So people ahead of time can actually see what you're going to be selling.
Right, because some people put like t-shirt 1, t-shirt 2,
because
t-shirt 3. They don't pay attention.
No, they don't have it planned ahead of time. So they just have a stack of shirts and they're like, oh, I'm going to do this one. It's going to be t-shirt 1. So what happens is they have like 9 people in the audience and they're barely selling it for anything. Plus you do stuff, watch some of these sellers that actually sell stuff for higher prices. They do contests, they do giveaways, like what I'm going to be doing with mine is like, if you buy a shirt, if you win one of the sales, you automatically get entered into the little bingo ball drawing. And at the end, I'm going to give away a shirt that's worth like at least $100. So that's going to motivate people. They want to bid because they want to win, because the more they win, the more chances they have to win the free one.
Right. So I'm basically going to let Katy be my guinea pig. And anyway, so I saw a question in there.
Yeah.
Cheryl said, can you watch it or is it live and done? It's live and done. There's no rewatching because you're bidding live on items, you're selling the items live. Once someone makes a bid, it is automatic that their money is taken by WhatsApp. So you don't have to chase people for money. Everything's paid right away.
Yep.
Their fees are basically the same, a little bit less than eBay. It's like 10% plus your 2.9% PayPal. It's basically
I think it's like 8 or 8.5% plus your PayPal. I'm pretty sure. So it's actually a little less. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I ordered.
Yeah, so Turtlebug Inc. Definitely that I would be contacting WhatsApp for that, not the buyer, because here's the thing: you're as a seller, WhatsApp is sending you the labels to ship your item. So
it's Whatnot. I don't know why.
I don't know WhatsApp. Whatnot. I don't know why. Whatnot is sending you the labels. The buyer is not choosing the labels. The buyer is not doing the shipping. The buyer is not receiving the money for the shipping. So that's something that they did. They fully refunded. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how that happens because I know that when you put your stuff in there, you have to say how much it weighs. So let's say you order 10 things.
That's a seller that doesn't know what they're doing for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know what label they sent them. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway. Okay. So that's enough to say about that. Again, the seller referral code is down below if you want to apply to become a seller. If you're even thinking about it, I'm telling you, do it now. Because it could take some time. It could be a few weeks. It could be a couple months. So go ahead and apply now. All right. So let's get into our show. Let's start out. Let me move this over here. Let's start out by looking at our numbers for this last week. Yours, apparently, you thought you did badly. Your numbers are actually okay. Mine, they're okay. I'm crawling along, guys. It was a decent week. It was like I had sales coming in. I haven't had like a great week, I feel like, in a while, which that's fine. And
we haven't been working a lot in a while.
I know it's tough. So
balancing life and work is difficult, guys. I'm telling you.
It is. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this first WhatsApp. No, I'm doing it because you said that.
Sorry.
You've been doing WhatsApp. It's what not. It's like we're a bunch of old ladies that like.
We don't know
what these kids doing.
Yes,
the tickle talk.
The tickle talk. And yes, Dana, it is a freaking hot flash. Shut your mouth. I'm gonna go. With that said, while you're doing this, I'm going to go grab something cold to drink because this is not cutting it for me. I'll be right back.
All right. Later, dude. Anyway, so this is for this last week, last Sunday up through yesterday. Sorry. Now I got to take a drink of water. We're not doing good over here, guys. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so I had 15 eBay orders. 11 on Etsy and Thrilling, with 5 of those being Thrilling. Nothing on Instagram, but I haven't really been posting there. I'm terrible. And then 7 on Grailed and Mercari, with a couple of those being Mercari. So total of 33 outgoing orders. And my eBay gross sales, $1,338.70. I'm ready for a $2,000 week on eBay again. Come on, eBay. $758.09 between Etsy and Thrilling, with 380 being Thrilling. Instagram, nothing. And then Grailed and Mercari, 448, with 136 of that being Mercari. So my total gross sales, $2,544.79. My shipping, $123.68. And then you can see the breakdown of my fees, my total costs, and my cost of goods. Not as bad as it is sometimes, but part of that's because I sold a lot less. $250. My net total sales, $1,887.88. And my gross average sale price, that looks good, $77.11. I'm always aiming for 70 and above, and my net average sale price, $57.21. So it's all right. It's tough because we're going to be going out of town again in another week and a half, and so there's going to be another 5 days that we're not going to get jack done. So
pretty much,
this is part of why I'm like, okay, I want to see how this whole whatnot thing goes, because it is a nice way to like clear out some inventory and bring in some quick cash. But we'll see. We will see.
And yeah, Karen, we both have colds right now. So we were flying, we were in New England around a lot of people. Don't worry, it's not the Rona. In fact, I tested because I always do, because I'm ridiculous like that. It never is. So we still have never had it, thank God. But it's just a cold. We were on airplanes and airports around a lot of people, hugging the heck out of everybody. So whenever I fly, I tend to get a cold.
Yep. All right, let's look at yours. What do you got here?
So this is kind of pathetic. So while we were on vacation, I had all of my stores turned off completely except for eBay. And eBay I had on like a 10-day handling time and then a 5-day handling time for the entire time. And it shows. So I had 16 eBay orders. I had 7 on Thrilling, 7 on Etsy, 6 on Thrilling, 14 on Poshmark. Poshmark has woken up for me again.
Mm-hmm.
2 on Macari for a total of 45, but 16 on eBay in an entire week is ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you, I have only 5 eBay sales from Friday till right now.
Yeesh.
Under $400 for 3 days on eBay in the last 3 days. And I've been listing all week since we've been home. Anyway, 1970 and change on eBay, 912 between Etsy and Thrilling, 848 on Poshmark, whoop, 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 84 on Macari for a total of 3815.
So you still had a really good week.
Yeah, I had a very good week. Like I've said before, anything over 3,500 is a good week.
Now, when you start to see some of her sales, you're going to realize that a lot of it's like 3 things that she sold.
Three really big sales made up for a lot of this. Actually, 3 really big sales made up for more,
almost half of it.
Almost half. So honestly, it's really not that good of a week. If you took those 3 sales out, forget it, it'd be crap. So 152 on shipping. It's the actual shipping costs. And then you see my fees with eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Macari. My cost of goods is always relatively low at 187. Most of my items I get at the bins lately.
Mm-hmm.
So my total net sales is almost $3,000. That's
bad.
a damn good week.
Yeah.
And look at my ASP for the week. I mean, when you see the sales that I've had, you'll see that $85 is my gross average sale price for the week. That is not the norm. And then my net is 66.
Nice. Dana says that she had her first bundle sale on Posh today. So awesome. Very cool. Anyway, yeah, so numbers are okay. I'm hoping that, I don't know, I got to take a bunch of pictures the next couple of days so I can get some stuff listed. I'm down to like my last 3 things that I have to list. And then I need new pictures. So
I think Tommy, I think you're right. He said I got sick going for a beer. Doc said it's because our immune systems are shot because we quarantined for so long. We need to build up our systems again. I totally agree with that. I will say that Katy and I have not been very careful in the last year and a half or so. We've been fairly careful. Obviously, we followed what we were supposed to follow. We've been vaccinated. We wear our masks when we were supposed to. Since the mask mandate was lifted here, I haven't worn a mask in like 6 months. Didn't wear a mask on the plane.
Stuff,
I'm licking doorknobs. No, just kidding. But we kind of just threw all caution to the wind and kind of said, fuck it at this point. But
that's how you get colds.
That being said, this is why we're getting colds, because we're just not around as many people. And yes, we spent like a year and a half.
We were like, you know what?
Shutting down our
when they lift
systems.
the mask mandates, we're still going to wear masks on the airplane because it's just better that way. Because you know how gross it is on airplanes? And then they lifted the mask mandate on the airplanes. We were like, woo, we're going naked.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but
naked faces anyway. We were just like, okay. And let me tell you, nobody was wearing them. There was like,
I will tell you, here's the funny thing.
100 people.
The funny, weird thing. So in Nevada, at the airports, not a single person wearing a mask, maybe like 5 in the airport and maybe 2 on the airplanes. And they're probably people that wore masks before.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were in Illinois. No, where were we for our stopover?
We were in St. Louis.
Missouri. We were in Missouri. So we had a 5-hour layover in Missouri where we got to see a friend of ours picked us up at the airport. We went to go see a tour of Missouri, which is great, by the way, in St. Louis. We definitely
want to go back.
So nobody was wearing masks there either. And then we got off the plane in Boston. I will say is a very big difference because my New England people a lot of people are still wearing masks, and that's okay. Whatever you do, you, right? But it was very different. We got off the plane and about 50% of Boston was wearing masks.
Yeah. It's funny, Cheryl, because a friend of ours was saying that she, way before COVID, would wear a mask on the plane. Like, you know, like how Southwest, you don't have assigned seating. It's just you first come, first serve.
Mm-hmm.
She'd wear the mask and then like cough a little bit. And that way nobody would sit next to her. But it's like now it's like a mask isn't a weird thing. It used to be like you'd see somebody in a mask and you're like, oh, what's going on over there? So yeah, that doesn't quite work anymore. Okay, let's look at I'm going to sneeze. It's going to happen. I got the face of like, maybe I might sneeze. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. But go ahead and share the screen again and tell us about this first sale of yours.
So I think I showed this on our last show, maybe, or maybe the one before that. Either case, I picked it up at the bins. So it does have a metal frame on the bottom with wheels. So it's probably between 4 and 5 pounds. So I think I paid around $7 for it because it does go by the weight there. But it's sold within a week for $69.95 plus shipping. And it actually sold to someone in California. So the shipping was a little bit under $10
Nice.
to go there. But I'll say it's kind of funny that I priced mine higher than this is not an uncommon bag. It's not that old. there were probably a dozen of these listed, and mine sold for the highest price out of all of them.
Nice.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of,
Maybe the condition,
the photos, whatever, but it sold pretty quickly, and there you go.
or they saw how close you were and it was going to get to them faster.
Yeah, that might have been it. But so the other thing I wanted to say is, like, I don't ever pass up NFR or PBR stuff. Rodeo stuff sells. It doesn't have to be vintage, but it sells every time. Anyway, Allison, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you for all of your babies that you take care of, and fur babies.
Yeah. I see Trish in the chat, by the way. Trish is one of the people that we were hanging out with and living it up in New England. I actually have a couple things I'm going to show that she gave me because she's nice and forked over some stuff. And yeah, did you want to say hi to Trish or no?
Hi, Trish. I will say we had one of the best visits with Trish and Diane for the first, and Julie, Julie flew out from Ohio. And I have not laughed that hard in years.
We didn't want to, like, we flew into Boston and stayed with Diane for a couple of nights and got to hang out with all those ladies. And we didn't want to leave.
I did not want to leave to go spend time with my family and friends. Can I just tell them we never got on the plane?
Like, is there any way we can blow them all off and just go hang out with these guys for the rest of the time? So we're gonna have to go back and just not tell anybody in Rhode Island that we're there, so that we can
we're gonna have to definitely go back and just hang out just with Trish and Diane, just so we don't have to, like, leave and go to Rhode Island.
Trish says, "Hey guys, we laughed and laughed, and we did some other stuff too.
We laughed and laughed and laughed, and one of us may have peed our pants, and it was not me or Katie. That's all I'm gonna say." Man,
Trish, I wasn't even going to go that far, and then now this one did that. So.
And Cheryl did too, because Cheryl pays attention to our posts.
That's a good times. Good times, Trish. Good times. She's saying, "I hate you."
Yep.
Correct. All right. Anything else about your cool rodeo bag?
No, it's pretty cool.
All right. Next up, I've got some, like, travel stuff. I like the travel stuff, the destination t-shirts and sweatshirts, especially if they have cool designs on them. I like the San Francisco one. I like how it's got the skyline, you've got the Golden Gate Bridge, and then it also has the spell out going down the sleeve. Plus, it's kind of a cool salmon color. Salmon.
You don't have the color in your title.
Well, why would I? It's in my.
I don't know.
Item specifics.
Because people search by title. I don't know. I always have the color in my.
Right, but if you search it and it's in item specifics, it comes up. Okay. If somebody searched pink.
Not on any other platform necessarily. So anyway, I just wanted to know why. I always put the color in the title.
So anyway, I probably paid like $10 for this one. And it didn't take really, I've had it for maybe 4 or 5 months. So it didn't take like a crazy long time. And I had it listed for $69.99. They offered $45. And I counter was 60, and I love it when I counter once and they're like, okay. And they bought it right away and paid right away. And it was fantastic. So not bad. You can see the tag. It's an 80s.
Oh, see, Trish just admitted it. She said, I peed my pants and I wasn't even drunk. It's true. None of us were drunk. We were laughing so hard.
Yeah.
And don't need alcohol. Don't need alcohol to have fun.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And not only did she pee her pants, guys, she came out and presented herself to everyone so that we could all see that she peed her pants. Not a little, but a lot.
And then, of course, we laughed.
And then we laughed even more.
Way harder.
And there were a couple of close calls after that on other days where she had to run very quickly to the bathroom, but that was the only time she was too late. Mm-hmm. But it's a good time. That's funny. All right. Next up for you.
Just a brand that maybe not everybody is aware of, but this brand C by Chloe, it's kind of a higher end brand. This is not vintage, but it is a little bit of a retro look to it. It looks almost like a 1920s dress. Mm-hmm. It's got this clear, and then it's got kind of a little bit of an uneven hem, and then it's got like sequins around the sleeve and the deep V neckline. It's like a faux wrap dress. Very pretty dress.
Kind of looks like a Greek Roman thing going on. Like,
yeah, maybe a little bit.
Lady going to a.
But like I said, it's got a retro look to it, a little bit Gatsby. It's a little bit 1920s, 1930s. So it sold for $97.46 plus shipping. I've had this for quite a while, but I think I paid maybe $4 or $5 for it.
Very nice. Very nice. Trish, no, nothing is ever sacred.
No.
Come on.
Definitely not. You should know that.
Come on. I mean, you should have made yourself.
We're all about transparency, Trish.
Yeah, you should have made like a reel or a TikTok out of that, because you might as well like get some views, right?
Clearly.
All right. Anything else on this one?
No, see, I said blue because it is blue. It's actually, it looks a little bit green, but it's like,
green.
it's kind of like that pale turquoise, not green. It definitely has a blue undertone. That's why I put blue. But yeah, it's
I can't believe you didn't put seafoam in the title.
Because seafoam is green, not blue.
That's what that looks like to me.
Okay, well, that you'd be wrong. That's why I put blue.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. All right. Man, I'm so seriously, guys. I'm gonna spend like half of this show being almost about to sneeze. Like my eyes kind of water up.
Achoo.
Yeah, that does not help.
Wow.
Whatever, dude. I actually really love this shirt. I've had it for quite a while. I've had it for well over a year. But I think it's a great design, and I love like any of the like nature tees or anything where it's like, you know, national park or like a destination, outdoors wilderness destination. I think this design is really, really cool. And this is a dead stock t-shirt. I paid like $15 for this, and it sold for the price you see there, $69.99. But I've said this before.
Allison's favorite number. Allison's favorite price point.
Yes. You know that something is trending in vintage when you go to Target and Walmart and they've got a bunch of like reproduction destination tees.
Yep. See, that's probably why you're doing so well with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been able to sell them, but it's definitely, I feel like it's something that's kind of picked up a little bit as of late. But
very cool.
I like it.
So this is, I always pick up Laura Ashley. Laura Ashley still makes clothing, but the Laura Ashley stuff from the 80s and the 90s is especially desirable. Made in the USA. This one is just a very basic, it's, you know, just like a pinafore dress. So it's got like the little buckle in the back. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard to tell because it's the same color as the pattern, but you can see it's got a little.
I'm hovering.
It's not zooming. Sorry. There you go. So it's got the little buckle in the back. It's definitely a very classic floral pattern, and it's sold for the price you see there. So you can see, like, look at this is where I say hands in a photo matter when you need to see something. Look at that. That's crystal. That's so you could see the belt. Otherwise, it was very hard to see. Anyway, it's I paid about $4 to $5 for it. It sold for $100 that you see there.
Nice.
It's, you know, it's that classic look, that classic vintage, very feminine, modest, all that kind of stuff.
It has that classic going for a picnic after church look.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tay Pig says, I usually pass on travel tees. Gotta start grabbing them again. They used to always
don't pass on them
for so long. Listen, I'm saying they still sit. They still take a while. So if you're like super cramped for space, I mean, to me, it's all about if it has a good graphic or not. I think they're cool. But I won't say that they're flying off the shelf necessarily. So
right, that's the thing. Usually, if you can pick stuff up cheap enough, it's worth grabbing.
Yeah. Look at this awesome tank top. Now, tank tops tend to take a little bit longer.
That's your color this week. That's your color. That's your price point this week.
I know, right?
All three things, $69.99 so far.
That's right. So this one, it's just, you know, I like the kind of alternative sports. So I love like the ski t-shirts and, you know, skiing, water skiing, snowmobiling, all that kind of stuff that's like, or BMX, motocross. I think they always have like great graphics on the old shirts, and this one's no exception.
That's ridiculous.
I actually haven't had this one for very long, and so I'm actually a little surprised that it sold and at that price point, which it did actually sell for $69.99. I'd be like $5 for the shirt. A lot of times you can pick up tank tops for super cheap because they just don't sell as fast as t-shirts generally, and so they tend to be undervalued. But
the only person I know on a personal level that actually wears tank tops like this that pulls it off is Ryan Roots.
Yeah, he wears them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know that he'd wear that particular one. No, but he wears like vintage graphic
ones. I bet he would wear this one.
I don't know, with the bikini.
I am going to ask him if he would wear it. Anyway, no, I feel like I've seen tank tops have been taking off a little bit more in streetwear. I could be wrong, but like Enrique, who came to visit, he was wearing like a Marlboro tank top, and it looked pretty sweet. So yeah, $69.99 from $5. Next up for you.
So this is just, honestly, Dana might know who this is because I've never investigated. I have no idea who this dude is, but he's some dude from Las Vegas. I picked up this this board game. It's sealed, it's vintage, clearly, but I picked up this board game for $15 at a Zia Records, a record store here. It's kind of like used in new records, and they sell games and tchotchkes and stuff like that. So I paid $15 for it a few months ago. It was new, it was still sealed. And I looked it up just because it was different, and I didn't know if anybody was selling it. And I saw that they sell for $75 and up. So I bought it for $15, and it sold for the price you see there, $100. It sold and went to somebody here in Las Vegas. So somebody else knows who the hell it is. I'm sure if I even Googled, I'd know who it was, but I never even bothered to Google it. I just listed it.
Well, it says he's the most successful gambler in history. I mean,
he must be a gambler.
So did you just say he must be a gambler?
He must be a gambler. And so
I would say he absolutely is a gambler. I think that we can probably
deduce that you did deductive reasoning there.
Yeah, you're like, he might be a gambler. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
So, I mean, I'm not showing this because I expect that anyone is going to find these out in the wild in mass quantity. I just thought it was a funny thing. I paid $15 for it, and it sold for $100
and 6 cents.
Yeah, it was on sale.
Okay. Next up for me is this hurricane t-shirt. I will say that my rock tees have been slow moving, but all of these rock t-shirts that I've bought a few different times in like bundles, I'm well past the point of being profitable. So now it's just like anytime one sells, I'm like, oh, a little bit more money in my pocket. This one I paid I believe around $30 for. I actually had an offer for $125, and I love when I get offers. As I've sent out offers for $100. So whenever I get an offer for over what my lowest is on something like this I've had for quite a while, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take your $125. And I
actually have a poster on our rock wall that actually has hurricane.
Wow, you're impressive.
From a show. Driving and Crying. That was their big song.
Okay. But I sold it for $125, and they paid right away, which is nice because seriously, this whole having to pay immediately, even on offers, I don't see it happening yet, guys. I feel like sometimes it happens, and then other times I still have stuff that's just sitting, waiting to be paid for, and it makes me angry.
eBay needs to get their shit together.
Angry.
He wouldn't like you when you're angry.
Well, it's like they're doing the slow rollout, but I mean, come on, guys. Come on.
They've been slow rolling it out and talking about it.
I've had enough
for 2 damn years.
Well, especially listen, I have no problem with 0 feedback buyers or 1 feedback buyers or whatever. 0 problem. I will accept offers. I will do whatever. I don't care. But what I do find is sometimes you have somebody who probably just signed up for the site, and maybe it's their first time doing offers, and it's like they make an offer and then they just disappear, never to be heard from again. And it's like, I'm just sick of it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of it.
So, Toy Pig, do you come across a lot of vintage casino memorabilia? Yes. I mean, I think anything that's regional to where you live, you're going to come across a lot of it. We've come across a lot of vintage casino clothing, jackets. Casinos have always been known for their giveaways and their tchotchkes. So we definitely come across a lot of that kind of stuff at estate sales, garage sales, thrift stores, that kind of thing. But also, when you're finding it at estate sales, they tend to price it high because they know what they have, and they also tend to think it's worth more than it is in some cases. Most casino stuff was so mass produced in such large quantity that it has very little resale value. So yes, you find it. Is it always worth a ton? No. The stuff that's worth a ton is very rare.
Yeah. Dana says the hurricane singer is now a singer for Foreigner. I would be far more likely to go and see him perform if he was with Foreigner, because I want to know what love is. I want you to show. I'm singing a song here. I'm feeling passion in my heart, and you're shutting it down.
Stop yelling. You collect old casino playing cards like Jerry's Nugget. Jerry's Nugget is still open, scarily enough. That place was probably always a dive and still is a dive. It's right across from the Neon Museum restoration place. It's pretty much near our version of Skid Row.
Jerry needs to get his nuggets under control.
It's a rough area. Yeah, I've been there because I've made it a point to go to every single casino here. Just at when I first moved here, because I wanted to see every single thing, and a bunch of them have been shut down in the last 9 years. So,
and she was full of regret on some of them. So.
Some of them were you needed to be wearing a bulletproof vest to walk in.
All right, and other ones, you might find something awesome, like little restaurants that you wouldn't know about, like Fat Choi.
It's true. It's true.
All right. Next up for you, what you got? What you got? What is this?
So I showed this on our channel, again, maybe a month ago or so. This vintage, we couldn't quite figure out what it is, like a swim cover up or a house coat or a robe. It pretty much says all of those things in the title. It's shaped like a robe, but it is very heavy, like cotton, almost like a very heavy, thick linen. It's not bark cloth, but it's almost that heavy, which to me feels like a very odd fabric to have on a bathrobe. So it sold. It sold for the price you see there, $100. My buyer was very happy to get it. Like left me a note right when they purchased it. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm like, okay. I thought it was
They're probably
pretty
gonna
cool
wear it on
too.
their yacht.
Well, I think that it looks like it should be worn over a bathing suit on a
Probably,
yacht.
yeah.
I seriously, that's what I thought. So,
Or in your like little rowboat if you think you're funny.
So somebody bought it, like, and I'm glad because I love this weird quirky vintage stuff that I can just totally see someone wearing. And I got this at the bins, so I probably paid like $3 for it.
Very, very cool. And impressive finding something white at the bins that's not all stained. So, all right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. Oh, and good to know, Toy Pig, they made some cards in the 70s that are pretty rare. They sold in the gift shop. They sell for around $300 to $500.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I will definitely keep an eyeball out for Jerry's Nugget playing cards now, and I probably would not have purchased them before because it's still a casino. It's not defunct. So I'll keep an eye out. Good to know.
Yep. All right. Next up is this t-shirt. It's a Stephen King WZON shirt, which WZON was a radio station.
Did I know you had this shirt?
I think I showed it to you when I first got it.
And I didn't steal it?
No, because I paid too much for it. I would not have allowed you to steal. I did not thrift it. I bought it from another seller.
I love me some Stephen King.
I paid like $100 for it.
Love Stephen King.
Because I paid up for it because I love Stephen King as well, and so I just couldn't resist. But then it took a while to sell. But somebody made an offer for $199, and I took it. So I didn't make a ton, but it's just really cool. WZON, the t-shirt, I think this originally came out like in the 80s or 90s, this t-shirt design. But it
awesome.
but he actually did own this radio station for a while. And this was
and it's a Bangor, Maine radio station. Yeah. That's awesome.
He doesn't own it anymore, I don't believe. But this was like kind of a reprint of the original shirt, but it was done in the 2000s. So just a really cool shirt and you can see all like the different here, let me show you. You can see like the different, like the children, like you got the corn, you've got the car, Christine car. You've got like all these little things that are kind of nods to Stephen King.
Just really it's pretty cool. Awesome. I love that. The little toy boat from It. I love it.
Yeah. So just kind of fun. But I was glad to finally get rid of it. Just because, you know, I knew I overpaid for it, especially because I wasn't going to wear it, but I wanted it. I wanted it. All right. Now, what you got?
Oh, so this is a bins find. I don't even think I showed this on the channel because I don't know if I did or not. But anyway,
I don't remember.
So I paid maybe under $1 for this at the bins. I picked it up just because it was vintage polo sport. I would have picked it up anyway. But when I started looking it up, I realized that I could not find anything like this. I couldn't find, and some of the vintage polo sport hats sell for a lot of money. This wasn't necessarily one of them. There were some that have sold. If you look under polo sport hat vintage and look at sold, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some of them are selling for upwards of $500.
Well, in this style, nowhere.
This style, nowhere. I could not find, by the way, without a brim, it's called a Docker hat. Didn't know that until I had to do some research. But anyway, I couldn't find any like this anywhere. I looked, and I did more research than I generally do. Usually I just pick a price and throw something up there. But because some of these were going for so much money, I didn't want to leave any money on the table.
Yeah.
Anyway, I put it up and I priced it at $3.99, lower than some of the high ones, but still not super low. And I was like, let's see what happens, see if there's any interest. So I sold it within a month at the sale price for what you see there for $299.96.
Nice.
I have under $1 into it. The buyer was super happy to get it, asked me to expedite shipping because it was a gift for her husband who collects. So I upgraded the shipping to priority at no extra charge. And yeah, I mean, $1 into $300, I'll take that all day long. And again, it was just a hunch. Like I picked it up thinking it was probably going to be a $30, $40 hat. It was
you know, Polo Sport's a good brand.
I would have picked it up anyway because I knew it was vintage.
It's vintage.
And I knew I was probably going to sell it for 30 or $40 just because it was vintage polo. You know what I mean? But I didn't anticipate that it would be worth that much.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Next up for me is this sweatshirt. Now, this I think is pretty funny. So I bought this shirt. Where did I get this? I think I got it.
Another $69.99.
I think I might have gotten it from my online source. I don't think I got this at. I don't think it was yesterday's fits, but I didn't pay much for it. Like maybe like $10 for it. And this one it actually sold for $62.99, but it went to I think Germany or somewhere. I don't know.
Which means it sold for more than $70 because
they paid $25 shipping but it only cost me like less than $15 to ship it. But the reason I wanted to share this one specifically is because a couple of days before I actually sold it, I got an offer for $20 from somebody on eBay, but they put in the comments, they basically said, this shirt will never sell for more than $20. I only want it because it's just like the one my daddy used to wear. And it was like, first of all, listen.
Insulting your item is never a way to get a good deal. Like, stop with the passive-aggressive insults.
Yeah, people do this weird thing where they basically tell you
your item's a piece of shit.
Your
so this is all you're
crap,
getting.
and it's
this is
not
all you're
worth
getting.
anything.
Yeah.
So sell it to me for less. But then they like said this thing like, but it's the one my daddy used to wear, and I was like, it's so weird. And I sent them some lame reply. I declined, and in my notes I put something like, well, I guess if that's only worth $20 to you, and because I'm kind of a jerk. But then literally 2 days later, somebody bought it for the full price sale price.
That's where I'm the dick, and I will take a screenshot and send it back to that other person and be like, yeah, I guess your dad is worth more to someone else. Like I would, because I'm that person.
But see, like
you don't care.
No, it's not. No, here's the thing. It's not necessarily that I don't care. It's more a matter of I will never let them know that it in any way bothered me. So Vicki's like, I'm going to show them. But to me, all you're doing is you're showing your cards. You're showing them that you do care and that they got under your skin. I will never.
Patty would
never.
Patty's petty like me. Petty Patty. I get it. I'm petty too.
I think I am just more calculated. And I know that at some point, most likely, if it really was that important to them, they'll go back and look and they'll see that it's no longer available. And it's like, too bad, dude. But anyway, because yeah,
Greg's like, after insulting offers, I raised the price. That's not a bad idea either.
Anyway, I just thought that was cool. I just think it's a fun shirt, and I like the
it is fun. Totally fun.
I like the cat. It's like
the cat, and then like the mermaid with 80s hair. Like that's
And the cat, it says it says like party naked, but it's got shorts on. And I'm like, I don't really understand what that means because you're not. Oh, it's got shorts and a shirt. It's like, look, it's got like a full like sweater on, hanging out partying, but it says party naked. I don't understand.
Well, maybe they just want the 80s mermaid chick to be naked. She's got big 80s earrings, big 80s hair.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think that's funny.
Anyway,
I love petty people.
But see, if you let them know that they got under your skin, no, you can't. If they got under your skin, then you didn't win. You didn't win. They won.
Okay, can I please talk about my thing now? Or
yeah,
talk over it for the whole time?
Yes.
All right, so this sold for what you see there. This is one of my best sales in a long time, and it sold for $899.95. I did have free shipping on it. This cost every bit of $15 to ship because it's I had to do signature delivery. Of course, I insured it, and it's heavy. It's like a 5-pound leather jacket that is lined with like Sherpa lined. So it's a 1960s jacket. I will say this is a bolo for this particular brand. They were making jackets up through the 90s, I believe. So that brand is always going to be a bolo. But whenever you find a great leather jacket from, 40s, 50s, 60s, even early 70s, do not underprice it. Don't race to the bottom, because finding something that is good quality, broken in, comfortable, and that old, you want to sell it at a higher price. It's not the same as selling something from the 90s, So Schott is a really good brand. It's very highly desirable.
And this even with all this wear and everything.
Even with all this wear and the cracked, I was very clear, very clear in the description what condition it was in. The photos are very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And this actually came from the buyout of the Clothing Vault List Perfectly's inventory. So I've had this listed since November of 2020. So it's been
Wow.
listed a year and a half. But you know what? I've sent out lots of offers. I've sent offers as low as $500. It's been on sale. No buyers. And then the person that came in and bought this, full price.
Nice.
So I was pretty proud of that. But if you looked at my numbers for the week, I only did 1,900 on eBay for the week, and I had 16 sales. 900 of it was this one jacket.
It's pretty cool. All right. Next up for me, I have this cool cowboy art tee. I actually had two of these, and I already sold the other one as well. I think I sold the other one for around the same price. But I bought this from Barry. I had bought Afro Vintage. I had bought a bunch of stuff from him and a bunch of art tees, and this one I paid $20 for. It's just got like a cool graphic, and it's like got the artware tag. But I like the whole art tee thing.
It's pretty popular right now.
It is. It's just like really cool graphics, and so I paid $20 for it and sold it for $89.99.
So Tommy asked, other than the label, what is to look for to determine if 60s or earlier? So Tommy, like anything else in vintage, it's going to be a combination of all things. So it's going to be a combination of the label, the construction, the type of zipper used, the type of stitching used. It's a pretty difficult thing for me to nail down, for me to give you like lists of stuff. It's like anything else with vintage. For that one, the label was pretty easy to research because it's a brand that actually has a researchable label.
Mm-hmm.
However, not everything is going to come up when you're trying to research labels. So it's just going to be a skill set that you develop over time, that you're going to start to recognize what decade something is from based on the label. And if it's not a label, you can recognize it based on the construction, the style, stitching sometimes, maybe not on a jacket, but stitching, zippers. The very heavy metal zippers are definitely vintage and always going to be vintage. Those very heavy YKK zippers. So it's a combination of a whole lot of stuff that's going to help you determine the decade something is from. And hey, Will, nice to see you in the chat.
Happening? So Patty Coffin says that she wouldn't have picked that jacket up. Listen, those leather motorcycle jackets are always going to be popular. I don't think they're ever not.
Yeah.
Sometimes they sell faster, sometimes they don't. But if you can tell that it's vintage at all, and you can get it for a decent price, even if you don't know that it's like something that could sell for $900, you shouldn't be passing up those kinds of jackets.
So Martha asked, did it have an RN number? Probably not. I don't think this one had an RN number. I can tell you, I can count on one hand how frequently I'm going to look up something based on an RN number. All an RN number is going to tell you is what the company is if it's registered.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a lot of mythology out there talking about you can determine the age of something based on an RN number. Well, you really can't. There's some complicated thing that people talk about with determining it based on the number, what decade it's in. All that is going to help you determine is what decade the company was founded.
Right.
Levi's has had the same RN number as long as they've been around.
Right.
So that's not going to tell you what decade something is from. It's only going to tell you that it's made by Levi's. So the only time I'm going to look up an RN number is if the RN number is the only thing available on an item and it doesn't have a tag and I want to know the brand.
And even then, a lot of times it ends up being like some weird conglomerate that you can't even tell what brand it was. Anyway.
Exactly, because sometimes it's going to be, a company that was a DBA or whatever they founded the company under may not have anything to do with the label.
Yeah.
And then you have things like the Gap, which has like an umbrella of like Urban Outfitters and Victoria's Secret and all these different brands under one RN number. So RN number is not always going to help you determine anything other than the name of a company.
Yeah. But again, any date you find that's associated with an RN number, it's just going to be the date when it was issued. So it doesn't tell you.
Right. Because you're going to have the RN number from the day that they register as a company.
I mean, yes, what it can tell you is if you think, oh, I think this is from the 50s, and there's which I don't even know if they would have shown an RN number at that time. But whatever. Let's say
started in the 60s.
Right. So whatever. Let's say you think it's from the 60s and you look up an RN number and it's somehow you're able to find the date of the 80s. Then at the very least, it's not from the 60s. It can't be from the 60s. Mm-hmm. That's about the best. It's basically just going to negate certain things. But it's not
it can help you narrow down certain things, but it's not going to give you definitively and much else.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next one for you. What you got here?
So I picked these up in a large bulk buy from a local friend. I picked up about 300 items. And so I want to say, and I spent, actually, I say I picked up about 150 items. I spent $300. So I probably have about $2 into these. These were listed less than a week. They were practically brand new.
They're really cool.
They were very cute. This whole like roper type of boot you can find for many decades, but these were blue, which was a little bit different.
I like the design that you can see.
Yeah, they were kind of funky. The photos came out really good, right?
Mhm.
Thank you, Crystal. And so these sold for the price you see there. I'd had them listed for less than a week. They sold for $90 plus $10 shipping.
So you think you could have sold them for more?
No, I think that was right around. I mean, I aggressively price anyway, pretty high, but these were practically new. I mean, if you look at the photos, you can see not just the top of the boots, but like the inside, the bottom. They were very, very new looking. I mean, if they were worn once or twice, I'd be shocked. But
yeah, they're really nice. All right. Anything else?
Nope, they're pretty cool boots. If they fit me, I might have kept them.
Well, listen, if you like cows, I got a sweatshirt for you. I love this sweatshirt. I actually think I wrote down that maybe I paid like $10 for this, but I actually think I might not have paid anything because I got this from Gracie's Vintage. So our friend Leah, who has the little shop Gracie's Vintage in Kingman, Arizona. I feel like I remember her just giving me this sweatshirt. I could be wrong. I don't remember, but that seems like
she may have.
She's done that a couple times. But I think it's really freaking cute. And
speaking of Leah, she's in Lisbon, Portugal.
I know
now.
she's in Portugal by herself,
vacationing by herself. That's balls.
Yeah, but this
staying
is
in hostels.
A pretty small sweatshirt. You can see it only measures 21.25 inches in length, so it's pretty tiny.
That is short.
But look at how cute it is. So I don't know why. It's like sometimes they show the sale price, and then sometimes like this definitely sold for $89.99, but this time it's showing $99.99. So I'm not really sure.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so I either paid $10 or $0, but still a good flip. And I'm always gonna pick up goofy shirts or sweatshirts that have cows on them.
You like cows. You like cows.
I just like the cows.
If you like cows, you like.
If you like cows, I know Dana likes cows. All right, that's it.
So this actually sold also within a couple of days, and this I picked up at the bins. Actually, my friend Corey found this at the bins. We went together a couple weeks ago, and it was listed maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Did you pay $100 because of the weight of it?
No, it is pretty heavy, but I probably paid. It's probably like it's about 3 pounds or so because it's all beaded. It's like, that's a pretty fantastic one. No brand. She picked it up. She knows I like these beaded things. And this happened to be a really nice one. Pretty nice example. No tags, no brand or anything like that. But I paid maybe $4 or $5. And it sold within a couple of days. I had just put a sale on. So
it's real fancy.
It sold for $103.96.
Feeling some Liberace vibes and I don't know.
Yeah. Don't you love these shop reviews? Scroll down a little bit. I like this coat very much. I just wish I'd got a size small instead of the extra small.
So they gave me small size offered.
They gave me 3 stars. It's vintage, bitch. Like it's vintage and used. Like I'm sorry that you bought the wrong size.
That's okay because I have my 2 negative reviews and neither one of them will respond to me. So if you guys are on Etsy, they have the whole star seller program now. And so my for the month of May or the month of April, whatever, I'm at 75% when it comes to ratings. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, come on. It's some bull right there, man.
Well, you have to have a high volume of sales to be the 5-star if you get one bad one.
I know, but I am now. But if you look at the entirety of my career on Etsy, I've literally gotten a single bad review the entire time. And then all of a sudden I got 2, and that was forever ago. And all of a sudden I got 2 in 1 week, 2 1-star reviews. So it just kind of sucks.
And you're screwed for 90 days, basically.
But whatever. All right. Next up, I have this awesome hat. I've had this for quite a while. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but I don't think I paid much. I feel like
you've had it for a long time.
I've had it for a very long time. I think I paid like $20 for it. It's super cool. I love it. I don't remember. But it is kind of one of those random. I can't remember either. But it's kind of one of those. Oh, I don't want to create an account. It is one of those random things that it's like, who's going to be wearing this hat? But I think it's awesome. I think it's a very, very cool hat from the 1982 tour. So I priced it crazy high. I originally priced it on eBay for like, I don't know, $600, $700. Then I had it go on sale. But I priced it really super high. And then I've sent out offers that have been like crazy markdowns, $200, whatever. And then this person asked if I would sell it for $130. And I'm like, you know what? it's still a great deal. It barely takes up any room in my inventory, but I'm ready to be done with it and send it off on its way. And $130 is a pretty good sale. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where it's such a cool piece. It's so unique, you know. It's like it'd be one thing if I had the T-shirt, which would be cool as well. But when do you ever see a hat like this from a
Never,
tour? You know,
never.
It's just awesome. I love it. 1982. All right, next up for you.
So this actually sold on Thrilling, but as we've talked about before, it's very hard to show solds on Thrilling. So I just want to show this here. This is clearly before we started using photo rooms. So I've had this for quite a while. It sold for the price you see there, $149.95 on
Nice.
Thrilling. It's a vintage Woolrich. It's a really nice vintage Woolrich, but it's small. It's really small. And so it sold for $149.99 on Thrilling, which only takes 10%. So I love all my sales on Thrilling. I'm pretty sure this actually came from Torgum.
Okay.
The one or two times that I went with
bet.
you to Torgum in California, so which means I would have paid $20 for it.
Yeah. Or well, and then there was a time I went. It was after you'd gone, and I just picked up.
Correct, but this is not one of them. So
Okay.
I definitely picked this one up. So I think I paid $20 because from that particular room.
I actually have a Woolrich jacket that I know for a fact has fallen off of eBay, and I think I need to pull it out and rephotograph it and list it because it's just sitting in my closet and it's not being.
That's not helpful at all.
I don't even know if it's on Etsy or not, but all right, very, very cool. I love all the Woolrich stuff. I used to find that kind of stuff in Oregon somewhat frequently. All right, this is also a thrilling sale. I have a couple of thrilling sales. Nothing very thrilling. My thrilling sales, I've been getting them regularly, semi-regularly, but they've been really boring stuff and stuff where I'm like, really? That's what you paid $70 for? I mean, to be fair, I did price it, but I'm just kind of like, it's just these odd things that have been sitting for a little while, and I'm like, cool, sold it for $70 on Thrilling. So this is one of them. Again, I paid maybe $10 for it. Yes, ma'am. Would you like to say something?
I would. I'd like to answer, Jules. If there are tears, do you repair or just make sure to disclose them or show them in the photo? So it depends on what it is. So Crystal, who is the person that does a lot of my clothing, she has actually all of my clothing photographs and drafts for me, is also an amazing seamstress. So I am very fortunate to have that. If it is something that is relatively easy to repair, or if it's something like a busted zipper, but the item is worth listing, I'm going to have her do the repair for me, and then she charges me for the repair depending on the degree of difficulty. If it is something that's like a rip or a tear that is not on a seam and is not really easy to disclose, or it's a moth hole or something like that, then not easy to fix, then it'll just be photographed and disclosed. Not everything has to be perfect for it to sell, especially not in vintage. If it's current fast fashion and there's something wrong with it, throw it away. If it is older vintage, then definitely take a look and see, depending on what it is. A lot of things sell damaged, stained, torn, holes, missing buttons. Truly, I only throw something away or choose not to list it if it's really horrible.
Yeah. Well, and so like with vintage t-shirts, obviously like destroyed, stained, holes, all that stuff sells fine. So, but I will still send it into Crystal if it's on the seam, because I mean, for the most part, like that's a really easy fix.
And then you don't even need to disclose it.
Yeah, because it looks totally fine. I did
if you have a Crystal anyway, because the way she fixes stuff, you can't tell there's been a repair made. So if you can't tell, there's no reason to disclose.
Here it comes.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I think so, maybe. But like I just sent with her a really amazing, and I can't wait to show it to you guys when I get it back, amazing 80s racing jacket, Lamborghini. That's what it is, isn't it? I think it's Lamborghini. It had a bunch of holes in it. And they're definitely going to have to be disclosed because they aren't all in sync.
Lori says, I need a crystal. Listen, I need 5 crystals. Honestly, she is the best thing ever.
Yeah, she is. Okay. There's nothing exciting about this one. So what's this?
So this I got from a friend in Rhode Island.
Sorry.
Are you done? Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
I can't keep it from happening. Jesus, go ahead.
So this came in a couple of boxes of clothing that I purchased. My friend boxed up a whole bunch of stuff and sent it to me, a bunch of St. John stuff. And this happened to be one of the items that was in it. If this was cashmere, it would have sold for a heck of a lot more. It was not cashmere. It is just an Angora overcoat, woolen Angora, but still very well made. It's Max Mara, which is a very high-end brand. So I paid, once I averaged it out, I think I paid about $15 to $20 for this. I listed it on eBay. I listed it on Poshmark. This sold on Poshmark for $375.
That's crazy.
Within 48 hours of being listed. They sent me an offer for $375. I was perfectly happy to take that. I only had $20 into it. This is end of season, off season. I'd have to wait another year for it to sell.
Very nice.
So this one is not vintage. This is a current brand. I don't know how old it is, but yeah, $375 is pretty good.
Corey says, "Stop picking on me." This is a good sale.
If that were if this happened to be cashmere, it would have sold for double that price.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was when I pulled it out of the box, but it's not.
Okay, my last one is a completely uninteresting sale. Denver Broncos 1999 Super Bowl sold for $70 on Thrilling. Whoop-de-doo. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our screen. Now I got watery eyes because I've been sneezing.
So I don't know if this is that we both have a cold or if it really is from all of this wind and allergies right now. It could be a combination of the two.
Yeah, could be.
Because there is a lot of wind kicking up a lot of dust, and
I'm going to go blow my nose. Bye.
Okay.
You start showing your stuff.
I'll start showing my haul while Katie goes to blow her nose. Anyway, so I've got a bunch of stuff here that is from the bins. I've got a couple things from Rhode Island, I think, and then that's about it. Yeah. Actually, not even Rhode Island. It's going to be from the Boston area because I did not source in Rhode Island hardly at all. So first thing I'm going to show. Oh, geez. Sorry, that was heavy. First thing I'm going to show is something not super exciting, but I talk about if you find vintage towels sell. I don't know exactly why vintage towels sell. However, this is a Disney's Animal Kingdom. Nothing super great about it, but it's in great condition. It's very soft. It's not worn. It's a thick towel. It just has, the tiger stripe all over it. I got this at the bins, so I paid like $1 or something. I've already washed it. This is going to sell for like $40 to $50. So don't discard towels. $40 to $50. I know. Yeah, Katie's legs that could probably blind you because she is so pasty white.
I am pasty white right now. But we got the pool up. We're going to be out in the sun, especially when we go to Florida too.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I picked this up at the bins just this week. This is a little Swiss dot, kind of like a double knit polyester suit. So we look at this big 70s collar right here, right? So this is navy blue and white. It's kind of got a little bit of a fitted jacket. This is women's, and it has the matching pants, which is nice to find without the elastic waist. The elastic's not dried out or blown out, which is harder to find. And you've got some nice bell bottoms on this sucker.
Very
right
nice.
Here. Nice bell bottoms, right?
Very nice.
So this set, I picked up at the bins, so a couple bucks I paid for this, and I'm going to list it for about, this one's a pretty nice one. I'm going to list this for around the $150 range.
Yeah. Jules, we're going to be in the Tampa area, and on the 21st, we're going to be doing a meetup with Casey Rockstar Flipper and Ryan and Allie of Rally Roots. And as Vikki said at the very top of the show, I will be adding the event invite link down below in the description after the show is over. So it is. Oh,
so Jules said those are from the first year Animal Kingdom was open, I think, which means that it's definitely a vintage towel. I haven't done any research on it. I did see that there were not a ton of Animal Kingdom towels, and the ones that have sold for $50 or more. So I think that one will sell really well. Patty said, "Will I list that together?" Yes, I'm going to list that as a suit. That's the top and the bottom. It'll be a one-piece suit.
Yeah.
So Jules, if you are in Miami, then you should. We're going to be in the Tampa area. I don't know the distance, to be honest with you. I'm terrible. I don't know Florida. But we're going to be in the Tampa area. So you should definitely come if you can. Come to our meetup. It's free.
Yep.
We want to meet as many of our Florida friends and visit with the friends that we already have and meet new friends. So
Crystal says in some countries, pasty white is a sign of wealth. Same with being a little bit chubby. So I've got it under control.
You have got it going on.
Okay, go ahead.
You were quite the catch. So this is also another bins find. I mean, honestly, this has got to be for costume, right? I can't imagine someone wearing this, not ironically, but look at this thing. So this is as 80s as it gets, right? It's got huge shoulder pads. One of them's actually sticking out right now. It's this crinkly fabric that's off-white. with these big gold buttons. And look at these. Look at this. Look, this is the sleeve. Freaking ridiculous. I only wish that I had found the second half to this. Like if this had been a skirt or a pair of pants or whatnot.
You don't think Lady Gaga would wear that?
Yeah, she probably could. Only Lady Gaga.
And it wouldn't be a joke.
No, Lady Gaga could probably pull it off. So anyway, I had to get this because it's ridiculous. And I know it's going to sell. I don't know what I'm going to list it at yet, but maybe like $75 or so.
I feel like somebody would wear that while sitting on this stool that
Maybe.
Vikki has under her desk. I'm just saying.
Very dynasty. If the shoulder pads were even, I was hoping they'd be like more square, but they're not. They're normal shoulder pads. So this is a Jessica McClintock Gunny Sacks dress, not one of the most desirable ones. This is definitely from the 80s, not the 70s, but it's got like this cute little, it's velvet, and it's got this little ruffled hem on it. I can't tell if this is damage to the velvet or like you're seeing right there, or if it's just different in the nap. It's picking up really well on there, but in person, you can't really see it.
The nap, what'd you say?
The nap.
What the F is a nap?
It's the fabric. It's the way the fabric.
In my life. What's nap?
It's the way the fabric lays.
Oh,
the thickness of the fabric. Anyway, it's just like a little black prom dress. Zips up the back. It has one strap that came unsewn. This is where I have a crystal. So Crystal will sew this back on because I can't so much as sew that. But it's kind of cute. So if I can get it to photograph without it looking like there's a hole in it, because there isn't, that's just the different direction it's leaning in. I think I list it for like $75 or so.
It's the nap, you guys. We're learning.
Stop.
There are people out there who don't know what that is. So I am bringing humor to the situation while also allowing you to educate people on what a freaking nap is, man.
See, Patty, the direction of the velvet. Thank you, Patty. And it's, yes. Anyway, I think it's NAP, but it could be KNAP. I don't know. Anyway, so this is also from the bins. So this is a like bodysuit. So 90s bodysuit here with like these ruched ruffled sleeves and the zipper. So if you really want to do like super slut down to your navel, you totally can. I love it. No judgment. If you got it going on, wear it. I don't know what brand this is. It actually may not be that super. It may not be that old because it's Fashion Nova. Never mind. I thought it was 90s.
Or if you
not 90s.
Pee yourself and you need to get out of it quick.
It's not old. It's Fashion Nova. It's very 90s style. Anyway, so it's current, but I'll still probably sell it for $30 or $40. I just looked at the tag. This is also from the bins. This one's a little bit odd to me. So this is black and silver. It's just a basic tunic type dress, but then it has this cape thing going on across the back of it. So it would be like, I don't know if you want to, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a cape thing. I know it's going to photograph better on the mannequin than I'm trying to show you right here.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's got like the 70s cape collar thing that's attached to it. So this is kind of a polyester 70s type of thing. Also a bins find. I paid under $1. It's very light. So this will probably sell in the $75 range. Yeah, it totally looks complicated.
Listen, women's clothing is ridiculous. A lot of times I do the laundry, and when I'm folding, Vikki likes it when I do the laundry because I fold much better than she does. I fold my t-shirts. I can do them very uniformly, fold them up very nicely, a little stack. And then I get to Vikki's crap, and it's like all these weird sleeves and weird proportions and things hanging off over here and things hanging off over there. And you got to figure out how to fold it so that it actually folds and isn't just like a ball.
I don't dress weird.
I'm saying women's clothing in general, because they're usually like, they'll have asymmetrical things that will go on and ruffles over here or up here and just like throws everything off, and it's hard to fold.
It's true. It is nap with no K. Thank you. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. And Tommy, I'm not picking up Fashion Nova on purpose. I actually didn't see the tag on that because it looks and feels 90s. That was how I picked it up. But I'm not going to throw it away because I only paid $1 for it. I may even cut the damn tag out. I don't know. It's worth more without the tag. So another bins find, which I love. Anybody, can you take the comment down? So California raisins.
Surf's up, bruh.
Surf's up. California raisins, vintage purple towel. Love, love, love this. I love anything California raisins. I'll sell this for $100 all day long.
Yeah.
All day long. Anything California raisins sells high. And if you're listing it low, of course it's going to sell low and it'll sell fast. But a lot of people underprice California raisin stuff. I don't know why. Everybody loves California raisins, but they do.
We both love California raisins, so we have to battle each other and compete against each other of who could find the coolest California raisin stuff.
It's true. It's true. I'm probably just going to go through all that I have here. I only have another 5 or 6 things, and then I'll let Katy do her haul right after.
Cool, man.
This is another bins find. This is an Everlast like boxing robe, I guess they call it. So it's a boxing robe. It's off-white satin with black trim. But what I thought was pretty cool about it is not just that it's an Everlast boxing robe, but the cuff says Caesar's Palace. Now, Caesar's Palace used to be where they would have all of the big boxing fights. Las Vegas, Caesar's Palace. Yeah. Tyson could have worn that. He does live here.
Let's get some DNA testing done.
But it's vintage, made in the USA. It's acetate satin. It does not have the belt, but that doesn't really matter because all I've got to do is pick up a yard of black satin wide ribbon and it fits. So I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. It's probably not Tyson's, but anyway, it's just a vintage.
Could be though.
I haven't looked it up. I don't know if it's worth as much as I think it is, but I'm going to price it high anyway.
No one can prove it wasn't Tyson's.
That's true.
Just saying.
That is true. Okay, so
I think you should put somewhere in the description like could have been Tyson's.
No, please don't teach people that. Okay, also picked up at the bins. This has all been washed. This is like BJ from Barney.
Look what that yellow does to the color of the.
I know it's weird, right?
It throws all the camera adjusts.
Yep,
it's crazy. Oh, pull it back and it turns right color. There you go.
Bright yellow.
Weird.
It hangs on the wall. I think it's meant to hang on the wall. I've never seen this particular thing, but anything. It's vintage, definitely vintage, 90s. It's like kind of like that puff-a-lump, nylon fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably list this pretty high too, maybe like $75.
Whoa.
Let's see. We have another 5 or 6 things to show. This I picked up in Boston. Brought this home in the suitcase. Vintage Radio Shack computerized chess. We did test it and count it. All the pieces are there. It does work. Paid, I think it was on sale.
Yeah, you didn't pay much for it, like $5.
I think I paid $5 for it, and I'll be able to sell it for about $100.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that look similar, but they're different models. So
let's see. Also, New England. Vintage LL Bean boots, duck boots. These sell for about $75 to $100 when they're vintage. Yes, they still make them, but the vintage ones sell for more. They last forever. They're in good shape. Duck boots, pretty cool. So I paid $10 for these. They're in good shape. When I say in the back bean boots, that's how you can tell they're vintage ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Also in Boston, this actually came from a consignment shop. These were on sale. These are hunter boots, but they are hunter boots with the wedge heel. And they're in
while shooting stuff.
They're in an olive green. Not that kind of hunter. They're hunter rain boots. And I think I paid $10 or $12 for these, but I think I can sell these for a little over $100 for sure.
I mean, come on. They're wedge galoshes. That's weird.
It's a fashion. It's not. Anyway. You don't understand fashion.
Fashion.
You don't understand fashion.
It's not fashionable.
So the other fun thing about when I go home, I have friends that give me stuff to sell. One of them is we always stay with my best friend when we go home. My best friend Jason, and he sent me home with all of his Louis Vuitton stuff. So I've got a Louis Vuitton. This is all authentic. Louis Vuitton briefcase to sell. This particular style sells for around $700. I'll give him like half of it. And also a couple of wallets, a couple of Louis Vuitton wallets. And so I'll sell this kind of stuff for, probably about $1,000 altogether.
Nice.
It's nice to have people hand you stuff. Didn't cost me anything. I'll send him half of the profits. I like that.
Free inventory is always good.
Hmm?
Free inventory is always good.
Exactly. Free inventory is always good. I have 5 more things to show, and then Katie can go.
That's cute.
This is cute. This is a 1950s, late 50s, early 60s poodle. It's a mohair poodle. It's this brand, Kamar. It's a pretty popular when you find vintage stuffed animals. They're usually sawdust filled. Kamar. So it's kind of a cute little poodle. I haven't looked this up to see if they're super common in this particular animal or not, but I'm thinking $40 to $50 for this dude. Jules, can you sell stuff that is altered? Absolutely.
Sure, you just have to disclose it.
Just disclose it. Absolutely. Just put your measurements in, put whatever the current size is, not what the size is on the tag. If it measures in a modern size extra small, you're going to put extra small.
Mm-hmm.
If you've had it altered because you were short, I would probably put petite in the title, and then just make sure you put all of your measurements and disclose them.
Yep.
This I paid $5 for. Picked this up in Boston as well. This is a vintage bag, Nike bag from the 80s. This doesn't have anything to do with it. I'll end up taking that part off, but I paid $5 or $6 for this. I don't know what I'll list it for. Maybe 60, 75 bucks.
That also could have been Mike Tyson's.
You're an idiot.
Could have.
You're an idiot.
Prove me wrong.
Let's see. This is pretty cool. I got this at the bins here in Nevada. I paid $2.99. That's what they charge for artwork. They call artwork. This is like a rosewood frame. So it's vintage. These are real butterflies. And it's written in Chinese, and that's how I knew that this was a rosewood frame, is because that's they use a lot of rosewood for in Chinese wooden pieces, frames and wood in general. So pretty cool. These are real. I don't know how these weren't banged around. This is real glass. It hasn't been broken. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to list this for yet, but what is it called? Lapidaria? Is that what the type of? I don't know. I'm going to look it up, but off the top of my head, vintage specimens of like bugs and things like that. They sell really well. People that are into this kind of thing pay good money for it.
There's like a Ray Bradbury short story, or maybe it was like a some other short. I used to read those horror short stories, and there was one where a kid used to collect those butterflies, and then they come alive in the night, and it's really scary.
And then he gets pinned to a. I think I saw that one. Anyway, 2 more things, then I'm done. This is also from the bins. It has not been washed yet, so I'm skeeving myself out because it's on my lap. But vintage 1980s bedspread. It's from Sears, and it has all of the NFL mascots. They're like cartoon versions of the NFL mascots. Really cute. I haven't found any others, so I don't really know what it'll go for. But knowing me, I'm probably going to put it for like, 100 and change at least.
A bazillion. Yeah,
Tommy, you're right. There is a term for those butterfly things. I don't remember what it is. I'll look it up. I'll find it. So that was from the bins. It's lightweight bedspread from the 80s, which means it has a lot of those older, older mascots before they've been changed. He said, my kids had that bedspread. Yeah, see? Okay, and then this was from the bins. This was there for a while. Nobody had even looked at it. Again, I don't know what it's worth. You didn't even look at it. I didn't look at it before I brought it home. I saw it was signed. I didn't know who signed it or what it was of. I just knew that it was there. And it's addressed to, it is made out, it's personalized to this person, Mike.
Well,
Michael.
At least Mike is a very common name.
But it's a poster signed by Mickey Rourke. It's a poster of The Wrestler, the movie The Wrestler, and it's signed by Mickey Rourke. Now, before anybody gets on my case and is like, you're going to have it authenticated? No, I'm not going to have it authenticated. It's his signature. Nobody's fake signing Mickey Rourke's signature, addressing it to somebody named Mike. The poster tube that it's in has Mike's name on it. He probably ordered it, or somebody knew him, and he said, whatever. Anyway, it's his signature. Now, the poster itself is not in great shape, but it's frameable, so you can see all the wrinkles, and it's got a little tear at the end. It'll definitely frame well. So maybe somebody named Mike will want it, or maybe somebody who loves Mickey Rourke will want it and won't care. He does not have a whole lot of autographed stuff at all online. So some of it is priced pretty high, but I don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth a ton, but I mean, I'll probably still put it up for 150 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it.
That's it, bruh.
If the Philadelphia Eagles helmet is white, price it high. Oh, really? Let me check. Good to know. All right, your turn.
My turn.
Your turn.
Okay, so I got some stuff given to me as well. Trish gave me some
It's
stuff.
green.
Sorry. Whoa. Trish gave me a few sweatshirts. She did not give me any Louis Vuitton though.
She gave me some dresses, which are already with Crystal.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so just a few. Like I just like the design on this and healing the generations. Physical therapy.
Is it that artist?
It's not. You say that. You've said that 3 times now.
Because it looks like that artist.
It's not. Keith Haring. No.
Keith Haring. That's it.
Anyway, I just like it. A little physical therapy, vintage physical therapy sweatshirts.
I want to know what position
90s.
physical therapy this dude is in, right? Like, who's this dude in the middle? Like, that does not look comfortable.
He's doing a little jump in the air, like, yeah. Anyway, I paid free.
I paid free.
Yeah, I paid free. I'll probably list it for like $50. I like it. And then she gave me like a couple of.
Sorry guys, still hot.
Couple of.
Shit's no joke.
Champion stuff. And this is,
I can't wait till Katy has hot flashes so that I can make fun of her because I'll hopefully be done by then.
Yep. The thing is, though, if you're going to make fun of somebody, you want it to be somebody you can really get under their skin, and you are incapable of not showing when something's really bugging you.
That's true.
And then I can just drive it home. Mm-hmm. And I'm really good at pretending like I don't care, and it's just not as fun.
Seriously, Greg, chalk outline position. That's exactly what I was. I'm like, why is that's the weirdest position?
So probably the best thing that she gave me was this Champion reverse weave hoodie. It's nice and heavy. And this was kind of cool because it's got the striped on the cuffs in the bottom. But it's that reverse weave where it's got the side panel that's vertical weave and then the horizontal weave on the rest of it. And then you look at the tag. And this is the tag. It's made in the US. But that is a 90s tag. And this one I'll probably list it for like 100, hope to get like 75. And this one I also paid free.
I paid free.
Yep, I paid free. I ordered some stuff.
Not only did you pay free, but we had basically Trish was our chauffeur for like 2.5 days. Mm-hmm. So we had a vehicle. We got a rental car when we hit Rhode Island. As she's grabbing stuff, I'm just going to say this. So I drove from Thursday until we dropped off the car on Monday when we flew home Monday afternoon. We put over 500 miles on our rental car from Thursday to Monday. That's how much driving around we did.
It's like not counting.
Never mind the stuff that we did for the 2 days in and around the Boston area prior to that.
Trish probably put in like 1,000 miles during that week.
Yeah, she did a lot of driving back and forth.
All right, so I also bought a few things from my online source, and this one I didn't pay a whole lot for it. I think I paid $10 for it, but I was like, I can make money on that if I pay $10. It is. Talk about destroyed. Talk about just that absolutely roached. It was this shirt was not only destroyed, it was dragged behind someone's car
and then backed up
on. Somebody changed their oil with it.
Somebody changed their oil on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to this poor thing, but this is an 80s Wasp t-shirt.
Got a little Blackie Lawless. Got the whole band there. Wasp.
Mm-hmm. And look at it. It's just, this thing is just, it's seen a very, very many better days. Let's see. This is from,
there was some bro wearing this before with the chest hair hanging out, but now I can totally see a little tiny girl wearing this.
Oh yeah.
That's the whole look now. I can totally see a little girl wearing this, little boho chick.
But yeah. So I think I paid $12 for it. So we'll see. I'll try and sell it for 100, man.
It's gross.
It's just ridiculous. It's actually a pretty good size too, because look at the chest measurement across there.
It's pretty wide.
It's actually pretty wide. So somebody can really I think somebody could pull it off.
Right? That is a new level of roached out.
We'll see what happens.
It will sell.
We'll see what happens. So I was saying before about how Vikki and I, there's certain things where if I find a cool Hard Rock Cafe shirt, I will always, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I will always give it to Vikki, but there's certain things that we get competitive about, and California raisins are one of them. This is like, this one also, it looks like it's stained, but it's just where it's like super thin right here. So it's kind of weird. But this one says Raisin Hell in Scarlett O'Hara's. I'm assuming that's like a bar or something.
Yeah, this is not a stain, like she said. This is just fading. It's weird.
It's like the material has been like worn
but you can
away.
kind of see, like, almost see through it. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this one, I mean, I didn't pay a whole lot for it. It's in pretty rough condition, so we'll see what I can sell it for. But this one is the even better one.
I think Trish is right. If you had boobs in the 80s, you had to have the slit in the front, not just in the 80s. I was doing that 10 years ago, never mind the 80s. But you're right. That's like the whole Slippery When Wet album from Bon Jovi with the girl with the tank top on. That was
I got
I
another
like that one.
California Raisins one. This
Are these
one,
washed yet that you're putting in my face?
no. This one
gonna
is,
kill her.
I heard it through the grapevine. This is like the traditional kind of California Raisins look. And I'm not touching you. But
Don't
anyway,
touch
this
me.
one's in good condition. It just needs to do a little sweater shave and we'll be good to go. Okay, so we did a little thrifting. We went, and you know what? One of the things I really like is that both Diane and Trish, excellent hosts, and they know what either of us like to thrift, and they definitely took us to some stores that they knew you would really like. They took us some places where they knew I would maybe be able to actually find something, because for the most part, I'm not going to find a whole lot in the thrift store. However, I did find a couple of good things. We went to this, actually, this one's from that new thrift store
In Rhode Island.
I remember how I got that 50-something one. No, this is the 40-something one, because wasn't the show 30-something?
Yes.
But this is it's like got the roll sleeve. And this one I paid $6.49 for.
The purple rolled sleeves,
But
and
just
it's hot
ridiculous.
pink.
Pink. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But it's in great condition. So that one I actually found this in a real thrift store, guys. But they took us to this place. It was like a bazaar. Like the building was really weird. It was like you had to go down all these weird hallways. There was a bunch of consignment shops. And so there was one in particular that was for men's streetwear type stuff. And I actually found a couple of good things on like kind of the cheap rack. So
I didn't even go into that store because I was in the other one.
Yeah, he didn't go in there. So like this one, I really like this one. It just says Island Dyes. I'm assuming that's probably like it was some company that did tie-dye stuff. But this is on the Caribbean Dreams tag, which is like an 80s, 90s tag. And a single stitch. It's just a nice tie-dye. I think I paid like $15 for that. They'll sell it for like $60 or so. And then this one, I think I paid about the same price for. It's nice big size. This is like a Christian band. The Continentals Stand Up and Move Out. And it's like this is like an album of theirs that came out in the 90s. No idea how much this is worth. It's on a Proof Loom tag. And then they had a few things up on the wall. And I think Trish actually came in and was like, hey, what about that Tom Petty shirt? But I hadn't looked at it yet. And so then I went and looked at it. They had it priced at $80. I'm like, that's a little high. The Great Wide Open, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is a 91, 92 tour. So it was priced a little high, and it was a consignment shop, supposedly. So I didn't know if the guy behind the counter had any ability to negotiate. So I went with my other stuff, and I was just like, hey, that Tom Petty shirt, is there any wiggle room for negotiation? And he's like, oh, yeah, for sure. He's like, what are you thinking? And I said, I can give you $50 for it, because I did look this shirt up, and the only two that I found were solds. One sold for like $140 and the other one for $125. So I'm not going to pay $80 for it, but I'll pay $50. And so he was like, yeah, I'll sell it for $50. So I pulled it off the wall, and that's probably like the best thing I got. What's happening in the chat?
Nothing. Everybody's mesmerized.
Everyone's quiet. Oh, they're mesmerized.
They're mesmerized by your haul.
I'm sure. So then the other thing I found at that new thrift store in Rhode Island, which it was really big. It was actually not a bad.
Huge.
And
the prices were pretty high, but they had some good vintage. I got some good stuff too.
That's a store I feel like if we lived there, you'd want to go there like regularly just to see.
I totally would.
Just to see like what else they
have.
It was
right around the corner from my mom's house. Tracy, it's in Coventry on, you might have been one of the people that told me about it, but it's in Coventry in the old Benny's on Tyoke Ave.
The other thing I got, this was only priced at $6.99, so good price. This Izod Lacoste grandpa sweater. It's actually a better.
Why does yellow do that to our
screen?
Screen?
It's a better yellow than it looks like in the screen.
It makes everything blue.
Washed out.
It's really weird.
But when you take it off there, that yellow is what it is. It's like
Isn't that weird?
nice yellow. It is. But this is just a really cool vintage Lacoste cardigan, and I will probably sell this for, I don't know, maybe $100. We'll have to see what the prices are like these days. But just a really nice sweater. And apparently, I do t-shirts and sweatshirts. I don't do sweaters a lot, but apparently I wanted to bring back.
Bite your tongue, Mother's deals.
I wanted to bring back a bunch of sweaters because one of the shops that Trish took us to,
it was a Salvation Army or a Goodwill or whatever. That we were
it's
at.
just like a basic whatever. There were 3 sweaters, and I got them all, and they're all priced. I paid a lot for them. I paid like, for a thrift store, I was like, geez, $18. And then I thought to myself, okay, if I was at Yesterday's Fits and they had this on a $20 rack, would you get it? I'm like, yeah, of course I would. Totally worth it. So I'm like, get over yourself and just pick it up. So this one is not actually vintage. This is, these are all like hand knit in Ireland, all 3 of these sweaters. This is like a really nice old school kind of like almost like a fisherman's
it's definitely a fisherman's
sweater,
Irish fisherman cardigan.
But it's got these buttons where when you look at it,
It's made in Ireland.
I know, that's why I just said they're all hand knit in Ireland. It's got the buttons where when you first look at them, you're like, oh, it's that wrapped leather, which usually you see like what 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually plastic. But it's like
I don't think it's 70s, but I still think it's vintage because that company still makes clothing in Ireland.
Okay, but that doesn't make sense what you just said.
It's still vintage.
You said I still think it's vintage because they still make it.
No, but they still make it.
Okay.
Because. So anyway,
well, when do you think they did plastic? Like when?
I would say that's probably 80s.
Okay.
They want to keep the 70s look. Anyway, so Paula, you definitely know where it is. So the thrift store is the entire Old Benny's inside on Tyoke Avenue. It's huge. So definitely check it out. Hard goods, nah, but they had a ton of clothing, vintage and otherwise. And they had it priced up. It's not super cheap. You're not going to get 99-cent stuff, but I paid $6, $8, $10 for a couple of things you'll probably see next week. And it's good stuff. It was worth the prices.
Yeah. I'll probably price that one at like $200 because it's just I think it's dead stock. I don't think it's ever been worn. All 3 of these sweaters are in
super crispy,
fantastic condition. So minimum, I'll sell each of them for $100.
Usually once they've been worn, even if somebody is very careful and dry cleans them, because you can only dry clean these, forget it. You can't even hand wash them. They shrink immediately. They're pilly. If they're worn a lot, they get pilly from wear and use. None of these have any pills on them at all. So I feel like this is somebody was gifted or bought them when they were out in Ireland and then never wore them.
Again, when I put this up, it really washes the color out. It's actually a really nice kind of warm,
that beige, yellowy
off-white. Anyway, so this one, I don't know. When would you date this? I'll have to look it up. It's got like a size tag on it.
Again, they still make
XL.
that type of stuff. You'll find it, but I still think vintage, but not like as old as you may think.
But these are all made in Ireland. So again, $18. And I really like this one because they made it with like it's got all these flecks of brown.
It has the brown and the gray wool as well as the white wool. So it's not all dyed. It's actually natural.
Yep. So again, I paid $18 for this.
Because sheep come in different colors and they're not just white, but a lot of it they bleach and dye. And this is not all. It's got like the browns and the grays woven into it. It's pretty cool. It's like a speckled.
Yep. Really, really nice. Just a great weave. So yeah, I picked up a bunch of. Apparently, I needed to pack my suitcase full of sweaters. Full of sweaters. But that's everything. We didn't source a lot while we were there. I mean, we did come home with a couple of suitcases full, but
that's not a lot for us.
We've kind of discovered that the trick is, and I know we talked about this a little before, but for those of you who have thought about doing any kind of thrifting while going on an airplane somewhere, you want to travel, you got a good deal on, maybe you have some points. If you haven't done it before, you want to get a card, do Southwest.
Yes.
Okay, because they have a good points program. Plus, they're the best as far as like traveling to thrift because you each get 2 checked 50-pound bags. And so like what we did when we went, even if we're not planning on doing a lot of sourcing, basically what happens is she will pack one big bag that has like all of her clothes and then kind of our toiletries in it. I will pack all my stuff in like a little carry-on.
Because she packs like a guy.
Yeah. And then you can fit a lot of t-shirts in there. So I can still have a week's worth of clothes, but I have a little carry-on. I put that in another big bag, and I can also put in a couple of duffel bags in there. And so basically we can check all that stuff. And then when we come back home, we can have 4 50-pound bags plus a carry-on plus backpack. And it's like we could have packed. So we did 2 full-size bags and 1 huge duffel bag that we checked. And 1 small carry-on that we checked just because we didn't want to deal with it. We're already checking stuff.
But we could have had 1 more 50-pound bag and 1 more carry-on.
Yep.
And we didn't even get that much. So when we go to Florida, we're going to pack the same way.
We figured out that all we do is I drop her off at departures. We go grab one of those carts that you pay like a couple bucks for. You put your cart in, you take the cart. load it up. I go take the rental car back, and then I hoof it back and help her check them. And so you're not really having to lug them around a whole lot. It's very minimal.
Yeah, we could have gotten more, and we now know to pack accordingly. You know, flights are expensive right now, whether it's points or cost. Just like anything else, the fuel costs have driven the prices through the roof. However, we use a Southwest business card. I use a Southwest business card for everything. So my Southwest business card pays for my postage every single day, all day long, all year long. I use it to source. I use it to grocery shop. I use it to purchase just about anything throughout the year. And what that does is I pay it off every month. I use it like an American Express. So I pay it off every single month, even though I don't have to, but I get points. Occasionally they send you special offers where you can get double points or triple points, depending on certain categories, purchases. Last year they did it for shipping at one point. So that
it was like
fantastic.
3 or 4 months, and it was like triple points. It was crazy.
Yep. So,
but and then last year for the first time, we actually got to the point of having a companion pass. So this entire year, we only have to use points for one ticket, and then we have a companion. Then we are able to like bring back.
Hoping to hit the companion. Now you have to spend a lot. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
You have to spend 125,000 or get 125,000 points every year on your card to get a companion pass. However, if you source a lot, or if you travel a lot, or if you take advantage of the shipping and all of the other things, it is not as difficult to get there as you might think.
Yeah,
I spend easily $8,000 to $9,000 a month using that credit card and pay it off every month.
Like we just got a car, and you put like a big chunk of money on the card, and we just having to move, that we had to spend a few thousand on the moving stuff. Even more than that got put on the card. So it's like anytime we sit there and we go, okay, what are some big purchases that we need to make that we can do before the end of the year to make sure that we hit that goal? So, I mean, now we got to do it every year.
Exactly.
Right. I just noticed that Trish threatened me in the chat, and I cannot believe it.
She's rotten, that
she
Trish.
She wanted to steal my sweaters from me.
So Leanne said she flew Southwest to DC and thrifted with Paula. Yeah, you guys did a lot of thrifting. She said, I checked my 2 free, 1 carry-on, and shipped 5 large bags. Oh, you really did.
You did some serious
sourcing. Now, we have done that before. We have definitely shipped back a lot, and even on top of what we've checked, but we've learned, depending on where we are. Now, we were not back east to source. Had we done a sourcing trip, which we do frequently, that's entirely different. Usually those we drive.
Yeah.
We're driving to areas in California or Arizona or Utah to do sourcing. And that's, we try to keep it within a 5 to 6 hour drive out and back so that you don't kill yourself just driving. And then we fill up the SUV.
Yep.
But when we're flying, we do try to keep it so that it's not entirely shippable.
Like before we kind of figured out this whole system, like we had gone to Rhode Island once and we were sourcing, and we ended up buying suitcases at a thrift store. But seriously, if you go to like Ross or Marshall's in the sporting goods section and get like a big duffel bag, like you can stuff those things full of clothes.
And they weigh less than a pound to get all the way to get there, and they don't take
and they fold up really, so they don't take up any space. And it's like it's just backup in case you need it, and then you don't have to figure out like, okay, how am I going to get this?
So M. Anderson asked, which boxes to use to ship back? Flat rate boxes are useless. You're going to ship UPS or FedEx depending on where you are in the country, and you're always going to want to use UPS or FedEx, and any box is fine. But flat rate boxes, you can fit 1 jacket in a flat rate box. Really, they're absolutely useless. And USPS for anything over 12 by 12 by 12 is also ridiculously cost prohibitive. Doesn't matter if you're shipping with one state over. So you're definitely going to want to use FedEx or UPS to ship.
Probably UPS.
Large quantity anywhere. I highly suggest using Pirate Ship UPS because your insurance claims are handled by them, not you. And you don't have to deal with any issues. So
unless you do, and you can also get your UPS shipping through Pirate Ship and do their insurance.
I'm sorry. I don't know why. Stop repeating me. I'm sick. Anyway, guys, now that you've listened to us again for an hour and 45 minutes, we're done.
They're having a good time. They're all hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out. We've had up to 100 of you guys here hanging out with us on Mother's Day. A beautiful, I don't know what it is like where you are, but it's a beautiful day. Super windy here, and the clouds are pretty non-existent, but it's the skies are gray here from all the wind, all the dust. See, bless you again. Yeah, so definitely Pirate Ship. If you're going to do large items, UPS is the way to go.
Oh, dear Lord. I better go because I'm going to sneeze some more.
All right.
All right, guys. It was nice
We
to
will
see
see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week. Please pay attention on my Instagram and our boss group. I will let you know when and if I actually get my whatnot, not WhatsApp, my whatnot.
Get your whatnot crap together.
Show scheduled for Friday, and I'll let you know. And again, the link below for the seller referral if you are planning on.
Oh, and if you guys really miss us, we are going to be hanging out with Mikey Bags of Money on Friday again.
Oh, yeah.
Friday again for his Friday live stream. He's in the chat, but click on that name and you can follow his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is super fun and funny. Mikey's a great guy and a good friend, and we just like hanging out with him. But he tends to go live every Friday night, and we're going to join him Friday night again and for some shenanigans.
Less sneezy.
We'll see you then
for sure. All right, bye guys.
Bye.